Good afternoon. It's Celeste of Astrology by Celeste. Yes, it is. I'm so excited. I'm going to be having a cosmic conversation with Theresa Reed. Welcome, welcome, Diary of Claire Danes. I love that handle. I love it. Hi, Theresa. Hi, Crocodile Flowers. Hi, everyone. Of Claire Danes. Ooh, okay, I pushed accept, Teresa. I normally have to push it 3 times before it works. Okay, I only had to push it twice. So good to see you.
Oh my God, Celeste, it's always a delight to connect with you. I like any excuse to hobnob with you. So thank you for creating the space and time.
Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you about Jupiter and Gemini. And I love your green, your
Thank,
eyeglasses,
thank
your
you.
earrings, everything.
These earrings were a gift from Jen Boothby. Her daughter Charlie picked them out, and I just love them. And yes, they match my glasses.
They're gorgeous. I feel like it gives you peacock energy,
Mm,
like
mm, mm.
being so comfortable with who you are and how you shine your light and everything. I love it.
Right as we're getting ready for all this Gemini energy too, so it's right on time.
How excited are you for Jupiter and Gemini as a Gemini?
Let me tell you something. First of all, as a Gemini, very excited. As someone who has Jupiter and Gemini natally, extremely excited. And my husband and I were just talking about the last time, he's got a Jupiter and Gemini too. The last time Jupiter was in Gemini, my life got much better, much better, like a huge improvement. And just so folks know a little bit about astrology, I have a very messy chart and I've got all this mutable energy locked in this big T square. So Jupiter's going to activate all that, but I don't look at that as a negative. It seemed like it got a lot of blocks out of the way last time. So personally, I'm excited, but for collectively, I think it's going to be pretty cool for all of us.
I love that. Yeah.
Mhm.
So why don't you just introduce yourself in case anyone doesn't know who you are?
Yeah, sure. My name is Theresa Reed. I'm better known as the Tarot Lady. I am the author of many books. The last book just came out in October of last year. It's called The Cards You're Dealt: How to Deal When Life Gets Real, a tarot guidebook. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell.
I love it. Yeah, that's so so Gemini. Quick to the point and sharing. I have one of your books around here. I forgot to bring it out here to show. Tower from Real Life
Hmm.
is an amazing book. Yeah, and I'm so excited to talk about Jupiter and Gemini with you. And just to give people, I love how you talked about last time. So
Hmm.
I have the date. So Jupiter was last in Gemini, June 11th of 2022 to June 25th of 2012.
2012.
Excuse me.
Yep.
June of 2012 to June of 2013. And then before that, it was June of 2000 to July of 2001. So people can go back in their lives and think about what was going on for you at those times. And there may be a little bit of rhyme or something with it.
Hmm.
Yeah. So why don't you highlight, as the Gemini and the Gemini expert, what are the big things you think about when you think about Jupiter and Gemini?
Well, the first thing, of course, Jupiter expands, and Jupiter tends to make things bigger. It can bring like luck, but we really want to think of it as it's expanding things. And so when it's in Gemini, Gemini is all about the mind and communication. So this is going to be a time where we can expand our minds, where we can really learn a lot of new things. We can get curious. And by the way, I love to study. I'm always taking classes all the time. But for all of us, we can pick up books, we can learn, we can study, we can learn about other folks. So it's time to get curious about everything. And also, communication. This is a really great time to open up for big, expansive conversations, to talk more, to listen more. It is a good time for us to gather information and to really also find better ways to communicate with each other. So I think we can really learn how to be better communicators during this cycle. The one thing I will say, Jupiter's going to square off with Saturn a couple times during this cycle. And I think one thing we have to be careful of, hey, Mercury's daughter, is disinformation and social media. I think social media is a very Gemini thing. I think we're all going to be very, very careful around that,
Yes.
especially with this election, especially with this election, Celeste.
Yes. Yeah, that's so the dates for that are August 19th, December 24th, and next June 15th. But this August 19th, around that time, a week before or after, because Jupiter expands and Saturn contracts, and Jupiter's in Gemini, information, Saturn's in Pisces can be you can't believe
Yep.
what you're seeing, what you're hearing, all of these kinds of things when they're squaring. So there could be some massive disinformation campaigns
Hmm.
around that time that are meant to cause harm because Mars is meeting Jupiter around that time and
Hmm.
squaring Saturn. So this is a time to really pay attention to what is going on.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
be
also
very
think of
careful.
I also think of Neptune being in 29 degrees Pisces, which is a critical degree. That's also in the mix too. So the confusion, the people who are out there, the chaos agents, whatever you want to call them, we're going to have to be very mindful about what we're taking in and look for the facts. And I think also this is one of my theories. I think we might find when all is said and done, once Jupiter's out of Gemini, is there might be a call for more responsibility with all of this information. And even with journalists, I look at journalists and people all say about the media, this and that. And I'm like, actually, there's a lot of journalists out there that are doing a really great job. And we might see this year might really, really test some of them, and some of them are going to have to step up their game. They're going to have to get better. They're all going to be jockeying for that big story. So I think the media is going to be also really interesting this year.
It is definitely. Yeah. Oh, and I should say Jupiter enters Gemini on May 25th of this year until ooh, it's next June.
June, I think
June,
June
June.
9th.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, I wrote it down, but I don't see it. I erased. I pasted over it the date for next June.
Well,
Jupiter
June, the first week of
enters.
June, that's when it's going to be done, y'all. So
Yeah,
we've got a good year to really soak up this energy. Now, I will say I did like Jupiter and Taurus. There were some things about it that I really enjoyed, but I'm just happy because I like all things Gemini. So Celeste, I got to admit it, I'm waiting.
yeah. Yes, yeah. And the word, I love what you were saying. The word I think we all need to be thinking about with Jupiter and Gemini is discernment. Because, like, Jupiter makes everything bigger and it's like shootings and Gemini
Mm,
information just shooting at us, just shooting at us, just shooting at us and like having the deciphering what's real, what's not, doing some fact checking.
hmm.
Yeah, like are your sources trustworthy? And Jupiter rules the truth. So
Yep.
I feel like it's like getting down to the bottom of it. So let me talk a few things about Jupiter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the biggest planet in the solar system and it's thought to protect the Earth from space junk. So it's got this like protective kind of energy. It's also, you already said, abundance and luck. It rules things like education, higher education specifically. And Gemini rules like primary school. So we know what's going on college campuses. So there is going to be I think these protests have some staying power. They started
Hmm.
with Jupiter, Uranus, in Taurus, a fixed sign. Yeah, law, morality, ethics, philosophy. These are all Jupiterian things. Big ideas, systems of beliefs. Yeah, an opportunity to explore unknown territories.
Hmm.
Yeah, I love that idea. It broadens, it blesses, and Jupiter believes in and invests in. Yeah, but it can be too much of a good thing. So,
Hmm.
like,
Yeah, definitely.
Like, be careful on taking on too much. Somebody's going to sign up for 5 classes and realize, oh my God, I can't do all this homework.
That's me. Guilty as charged. Oh my God, I love taking classes. You know, Celeste. Also, because of communication, Jupiter's going to be good for writers, for starting those books, marketing those books, publishing those books. And I'm looking at you, Celeste. I'm thinking Jupiter and Gemini. Celeste is going to get her book going, and we are all here for that. So we're waiting for it. I
I'm
think Jupiter and
hoping
Gemini,
so.
boom.
It's my 12th house, so maybe I'll have some time to like take a step back and do that writing. It's on my list, and I've started it, but then all this other stuff is.
Right. And also, and I can tell everybody from I've written a lot of books, it takes a lot of time and energy, and something has to go
Mhm.
in order to make time for that. I mean, I've recently had to get rid of something that I was doing because I've got a new book that's itching to be born. And so I got to get a book proposal written. I'm like, okay, you'll start the proposal, Jupiter and Gemini. Right now, clear some space to make time to do that because proposals are a lot of work. Yeah, Celeste is teaching all over the place, and teaching's a very Gemini thing. So, of course, she's teaching all over the place.
Oh, I'm so glad you're in the inner circle, Jessica. Yes, I taught a class about secondary progressions for astrology home
Ooh,
recently.
I
Yeah.
bet that was great. Progressions are
I so enjoyed.
fascinating.
Yeah, I love using secondary progression. So let's talk about like things Jupiter rules as well. So I
Hmm.
already said colleges, long distance travel, judges. We're gonna Jupiter square Saturn and Pisces. Some kind of legal stuff going on with that as well could
Hmm.
be going on around that time.
Yeah,
What?
and also short trips,
Mm-hmm.
sibling, or not long journeys, excuse me. I'm thinking the Gemini. I'm getting onto this other brain here.
Yeah.
But Jupiter has a lot to do about long distance journeys
Mm-hmm.
and spiritual practices, religion, philosophy. Those are going to be big things too. And with it being in Gemini, lots of talk around these things. Lots and lots of talk around philosophy, religion. Those things are going to be in the news a lot too. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oops, there's a
Yeah, I don't
thumbs up thing.
know if I like that thumb up,
Mm-mm.
that thumb up thing. And one of the things I think you can use this well is using, maybe rather than getting on a plane and going across the world for your vacation, think about taking a short trip in a car. Like Gemini rules,
Mhm.
the local roads, like bringing exploration. Jupiter explores, exploring in your same state and things like that, or a couple states away, I think is a good way to use this, especially with planes falling apart every time you turn around. And I had to
Yes,
get on
right.
like 4 planes this summer,
I
4 different.
don't like, yeah, I don't like taking planes anymore. I took one and I'm like, okay, that's enough for a while. We can stay off that plane for quite a while, another year maybe.
Yeah, I have 4 trips this summer. So please, Jupiter and Gemini. Yeah. And so people have their birthdays around June 2nd. This could be
Mhm.
really a big year for them to make some power plays because Jupiter goes into Gemini and immediately is in a trine with Pluto
Yep.
in Aquarius on June 2nd. So you'll have that in your solar return. How would you recommend people use that energy for?
Mm. Well, Aquarius, well, first of all, I would say update your technology. If you've been putting off getting new technology, this would be a good time for that. Also, it could be expansion with your friends, your groups, your networks. Maybe this is a good time because of the Aquarius placement to really think about, okay, am I allowing new people in? Am I keeping people around that maybe aren't a good fit any longer? Also, Pluto has a lot to do with transformation and power. And I can see transformational words. We're speaking words to power. We're expanding our words, and maybe more people are going to be speaking up about different things. What do you think? How do you think those two are going to go together? I mean, I'm all about this because it's going to affect my chart in a good way.
Yeah. Well, Pluto and Earth some things. So I think we're going to be finding out the truth about certain things
Hmm.
that are, there's going to be a lot of exposure about things that we need to know about education, Um, and yeah, maybe like secrets revealed around judges or court things and all
Mm.
of the topics each of them rule. Yeah. I would like to
Yeah.
see like Jupiter is associated with scientific, like medical stuff. Doctors are Jupiterian.
Hmm.
So I would like, and the Gemini rules the lungs. So I would like to see some therapies for like long COVID,
Hmm.
um, and things like Jupiter trine Pluto, like that can give people who are having these problems like a rebirth in a sense.
Hmm.
I would love to see. I'd love to see that bionic limbs. I'm getting
Ooh.
with Jupiter in Gemini. Mm-hmm.
I also think too libraries, which have been under fire by some
Oh,
really uptight people. I think that that stuff is going to start backfiring. I think there's going to be a pushback against those people who've been doing all these book bans. Again, Jupiter wants to expand, and I think we're going to see, I think we're going to see people getting real tired of this narrative because it's bogus. Don't want to
mm-hmm.
read it? Don't read it. Don't let your kids read it. But if it's there for other people, don't wreck it for all of us. So I think that's also something we're going to be seeing is the librarians starting to get more support and more pushback against this nonsense of book banning.
I love that. Yeah, maybe some like learning more about who's behind that sort of thing. Now, Anna mentioned Jupiter is in the sign of its detriment in Gemini.
Right?
It doesn't love to be there. How would what would you say about that, Theresa?
Well, first of all, because I have Jupiter in Gemini in my chart, I want to defend that. I mean, the thing is, it just, the negative side of Jupiter and Gemini, you can scatter your forces to the wind really, really easily. Too many things, jack of all trades, master of none, too many interests. We have to be careful about that. I think that it does also kind of water down the Jupiter's desire to be more philosophical. I mean, not that Geminis are frivolous, although my husband calls me his lady of whims. So I mean, those are things that, can be problematic, but I don't know, it hasn't worked out that way for us. So on a personal level, my husband and I are kind of like, it's not such a bad thing. I mean, I'm a prolific writer, and he's a musician artist, and he's been very prolific also. So I don't know, the detriment part, we might be a little more scattered, we might be a little more frivolous, we might be frittering away our energy on those too many classes that you talked about. I mean, that's the thing that is probably the negative part of it. But again, I don't see it as that bad of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, someone wrote fake news. That's one of the things
Yeah.
that you brought up. Fake news. That could be the expansion of that thing. But we can remediate all of these things by
Hmm.
knowing, okay, there's a tendency to scatter your energy with this. So let's think about prioritization
Hmm.
and bring in some focus about what we want to be working on.
And I
I
would say,
think
yeah, and I would also say with this election, don't lose sight of what's at stake. Do not lose sight of what is at stake. And I think with all the things happening, all the news and this and that and false news, and there's so much going on right now. Here's where we can see Jupiter and Gemini. We're taking in all these things. We're trying to like feel it all. We're trying, we could get really kind of lost. And I don't want people to lose sight of what's at stake. And I think it's really important to make sure you vote.
yes, don't
Don't
let
sit it
yourself
out.
don't sit this election out, please. We are in big trouble if people do, because there is with Pluto and Aquarius, there is that Pluto and Aquarius can go either way. It can be power to the people or like a power over the people, like a more
Yep.
authoritarian state. And yeah, it was very interesting last week with I think it was last week when Venus went into Taurus and squared Pluto. Donald Trump, who's a Taurus midheaven, so it rules his job, gave his interview to Time magazine about what he wants to do in this
Hmm.
election. He wants to give police officers immunity back so that they'll never held accountable for anything they do just yesterday or a couple days ago, an airman was killed. So that might get more traction. The police went to the wrong door and broke it down and killed this young airman and accidentally. And what else? And he said he wants to allow states to be able to monitor women's pregnancies. So state by state, depending where you're living, you may be questioned about your cycle, your menstrual cycle.
Can you
So
imagine?
no,
I mean, can
absolutely
you
not.
really imagine how horrific that idea is? And, they're talking about a nationwide abortion ban. And here's the thing, if you don't believe in one, don't get one. But we're in a very, very dangerous part. And also the one thing too, when he got elected last time, he was under his Jupiter return. And I remember everybody saying Hillary's definitely going to win. I'm like, I don't know. The dude's got luck. And now Jupiter is going to be going over his sun. He is going on election night. He's in his emerald year. And so that's what Susan Miller
Oh,
calls it. So even though he's got a lot of other aspects that are not favorable, that makes me a little bit nervous. I mean, now look, if you're a Trump fan, I'm not trying to dish you. I just don't like these rights being taken away. They make me nervous as hell.
mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at his chart. I'm like, I don't know. He's got a little more luck. I wouldn't count him out, y'all. I said
Mm-hmm.
that last time too.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't
Yeah,
like that idea, vote.
yeah, yeah. I mean, intuitively, I think I'm not that worried, but maybe I should be. But I do think, that would make sense. Jupiter and Gemini, like there's this real push for a religious theocracy among some people. And
Hmm.
yeah, the Bible with the Constitution and the Bill of Rights in it.
I mean, that's so weird.
That could be a erasure of separation of church and
And
state.
I think
Yeah.
that will happen if we're not careful.
Mhm.
And the thing is, I mean, look, if you're religious, awesome, good on
Yeah.
you. But I had to explain this to my dad once many years ago because my dad says, "Why isn't prayer back in school?" Because my dad was really religious. I said, "Well, Dad, what if the prayer was from a religion that you didn't like? Would you want your kids praying to that?" He goes, "No." I said, "Exactly." And then he got it. He's like, "Oh, that's why they took it out of school." Oh, exactly,
Mhm.
because you want people to be able to practice privately what they believe, but not voice something on someone else. Someone asked, how does Biden's chart look? I've got to give it a better look. I haven't had time. I'm going to get on that over on Patreon, Cindy. I promise you. I'm just waiting for the vice president nomination to be picked before I start really getting serious with political astrology.
Mhm.
All I'm saying is he's got some luck. Don't totally count him out. I have to see the running mate, though, because that's going to be a lot to me.
Mhm. And Jupiter for Biden. Biden has a Virgo midheaven. So Jupiter around the election is squaring his midheaven. So that's work. That's tension to get the success. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's
But he also has Saturn making good aspects to his stellium in Scorpio.
mhm.
And so is Neptune. So there are things helping him too. But I don't know. I'm just, you guys, you all better vote.
Yeah, it could be very, very close, and it could be RFK could be a spoiler. Yeah.
Oh my God. I heard about the news. He had somebody says
A
worm brain.
worm in his brain.
Oh my God.
That was announced the day after I think Mercury met Chiron in Aries, and Aries rules the head and the brain. Chiron a wound, and Mercury. I associate insects with Mercury, so. Mm.
News is going to get weird. And that's an example of how weird it's going to get.
Hmm.
That is what we're, I mean, oh my God. So weird.
Hmm. Yeah. And I think it's an opportunity to look at other people's views too.
Hmm.
Anna wrote something in here, like we can be so siloed in the news we read, or like people used to all watch the same news, and now like we pick our sources. So turning to what other people have to say that are maybe not aligned with you, maybe you disagree with, but at least listening to their point of view and thinking about it critically, I think is something that we can use as
That,
positive.
yes, that would be really good to do with Jupiter and Gemini. Listen to other points of views. Even those you don't like, I do that all the time. I mean, my brother, who I call Uncle Rico, we have very, very different viewpoints. So anyhow, I mean, we get into it all the time, and I enjoy that because I like debating with him. But I also get to hear his point of view and where it's coming from. And, even if I don't agree, I want to know. I want to understand people, because that is how we can grow and hopefully, work on finding maybe some kind of way to, I don't know, cooperate, compromise. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Or just opening our minds, like you said,
Hmm.
mind expansion. I
Hmm.
wonder what kind of scientific advances will be with Jupiter and Gemini around.
Well,
I
hopefully
don't.
they won't be discovering any more worms in anyone's brains.
I know.
Oh my God.
But I'm thinking about that, like that neural link that Elon Musk,
Yes.
like more expansion on that.
Hmm.
Increased Jupiter trine Pluto AI explosions.
Yes.
Mm,
Big time AI, big time tech stuff. And also, I think wind
when,
is going to be, I mean, I know there's certain politicians that are anti-windmill, which is bizarre, but I think that that is going to be something we have to start looking into the wind, the solar things. Gemini's an air sign. I think about climate. These are going to be things we're once again talking about a lot, so there could be a lot of conversations about that.
yeah. And I'm interested to see, like, I'm thinking El Nino could be a big
Hmm.
problem. I mean, it already is with what's going on in Brazil. But like you
Yes.
said, with wind, it could be, yeah, there could be, and I'm thinking warm air and wind could be a
Hmm.
problem. You know what's
Hmm.
happening? The cicadas. I think this is in line with Jupiter and Gemini because Gemini communicates air, and these two cicada things are hatching at the same time, and the noise is going to be
Hmm.
deafening. So I wonder if there'll be big news stories about May 25th or June when Jupiter goes in, or May or June 2nd when Jupiter Pluto, like people losing it over this noise. Are you in an area where you're going to have cicadas?
Yes, and we used to get cicadas when I was a kid, and I remember I would hear the noise. This is how dumb I was. I thought it was electricity. I thought it was the wires, like the telephone wires and the electric wires, making that noise. I didn't realize it were these cicadas, and then we would see their shells, and we would see these bugs. And my stupid brothers, Uncle Rico, would always like take them and throw those things at me, and I just hated that so much. I've got cicada trauma, y'all.
Uh-oh.
Cicada trauma.
They're going to be everywhere. It's going to be like biblical.
Mhm.
I feel like that's a Jupiter word where they're going to be like seeing scenes of them landing all over the place and then their shells all, yeah, it's going to be a kind of wild. Yeah.
Hmm.
And I'm
But yeah.
wondering about traveling, like problems with traveling mid-August and around Christmas with the Jupiter square Saturn.
Oh
So if
yeah.
you're going somewhere by plane, you might want you might want a vacation close to home this Christmas is what I'm thinking, or drive there.
Yeah, we're not going anywhere the rest of the year. I got one little thing I have to do next week, and I'm like, we are not going to be doing any traveling for many reasons, not just astrology. But yeah, I think that we could be experiencing some problems with that around
Mhm.
that time. And I would also tell people and caution them if you are going to be on the road, watch out for road rage. And also with that Neptune and Saturn in Pisces, we want to be careful with drinking and driving. Let's not do that. Let's be very wise. Call an Uber. That would be something I would really be recommending, especially, like I said, around those squares.
Mm. Oh, Jessica has Jupiter and Mars in Gemini. So, Jessica, be really aware of how you want to use your energy to expand yourself, especially when Mars and Jupiter are meeting in Gemini. There'll be a story for you. Mm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking about Sag placements.
Oh, yes. The opposition. What would you say, Teresa?
Well, no, of course, again, I don't like looking at aspects as bad or good
Hmm.
necessarily. It's what you do with it that matters. And so if you have a lot of Sagittarius in your chart and Jupiter is in opposition with that, it would depend on the planets, it would depend on the house. I would say you want to be careful about overindulgence. We want to dial things back a bit, not overdoing, over promising, over drinking, overspending. Really dial it back. Always what I think with oppositions, we want to meet in the middle. So find a middle ground. Don't overdo things. Seek balance, and you're going to be okay. If you find that you're overdoing something, dial it back, or the universe will find a way to help you to dial it back. That would
Hmm.
be my advice for that.
Yeah. And I think oppositions can come in through other people or situations.
Hmm.
And you might see someone outside of yourself, like having the success Jupiter that you want to have. And maybe you can learn from them or partner with them and bring
Hmm.
that balance in. That could be something that could
And
come in with that.
John G's looking for an astrologer to interpret his chart. Celeste does charts. So, Celeste, you're in good hands with her. Highly recommend her. So, John G, after this is done, go up and sign for a reading with Celeste, and she'll get that stuff all straightened out for you. The one thing I want to talk about too is for each sign,
Oh, yes.
where they might be feeling some of this energy. Now, of course, Gemini, my fellow Geminis, mm-mm, we're going to have a year that really creates opportunities for us. So this is your year to shine bright, to go big, to go for that thing, to open up and receive, receive, receive. It is your time. It is your time, Geminis. What do you have to add for Gemini?
I love that. Just might be mindful. And should we pull a card for each
Oh,
sign too?
yes,
Yes. I'm
yes. Oh my
I'm going to
God.
use the Resurrection Oracle by Jenna de la Grataglia. Ooh, and I love the Wiser Tarot.
Yes, I
Yes.
love it. So I got to give it a good shuffle, y'all. But anyhow, adding on to the Gemini thing, I think for Geminis this year, write that book, have that conversation you've been wanting to have, step into the spotlight, pitch the media, be seen. You got power to attract a lot of the things you want, Gemini. So my Gemini friends, get out there and sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Ooh, these cards
And
are already
and
nice and warm.
you may have angels out there as well as mentors or fans of yours who are helping you behind the scenes too, Gemini.
Hmm.
So really welcome
Yes.
in the abundance and the blessings is what I would say. Ah, and I pulled I pulled best friends.
Oh, that's such a
Yeah.
Gemini card. I love that. I love that. So what are we going to interpret that? What do you interpret that for, Celeste?
Yeah. So, like, you will find new friends in many places, whether you're a Gemini sun or rising. So,
Hmm.
and getting back and connecting with those people who have your back all the time. They are going to be drawn to wanting to help you even more, I think, is
Hmm.
what I'm getting with that.
And with the Seven of Pentacles, I think Gemini is going to have a lot of work ahead of them. And what I want you to do is work smarter, not harder. You don't have to take on everything. Look at the things that are giving you the return on your investment this year. There is growth, there is prosperity, but we certainly don't want to be spinning our wheels, Gemini. So be very discerning with what work you say yes to, what opportunities you say yes to. Pick the ones that are going to pay off for you.
Mm. Oh my God. I just have to say, Case Schwartz said, Katie Britt suggested a database of pregnant people. What are you
Ooh,
talking about? Is
that's
this
something
the
I,
Republican lady who gave that the
she
reverse?
wants a
Uh,
she wants a database of pregnant women. Can I just say this, Celeste? I'm so glad I'm like past menopause and almost 60. I'm like about to be a senior citizen because the thought if I would have to go through, I feel for these young folks today that have to go through the idea of something like that.
the idea. What if you miss your period? Are you going to be arrested?
I mean, right? Oh my God. I mean, it's like bananas.
It's
All right, so should we go to Cancer? Should we just go through the signs? We already start with Gemini,
okay.
right?
Yeah, let's do Cancer.
So Cancer, Jupiter's going to be in your 12th house. So you're back in the cocoon a little bit. Your guardian angels, by the way, are going to be protecting you so hard, but it really is a good time to be doing a lot of inner work, to engage in your spiritual practices, to get more rest. I think that's going to be good for you. And I got the Four of Pentacles for Cancer. And this feels like it's a good year to really protect your energy and your resources. Don't be throwing things away, Cancer. Buckle down, get a budget, take care of business, and really, again, protect your energetic shields. What did you get?
I got face value.
Hmm.
So I think this is a call for cancers to look beneath the surface. The 12th house is a place of mysteries and secrets but also self-undoing. So you may be getting down to the bottom of seeing things for really how they are about yourself. A wonderful time with a 12th house, Jupiter in the 12th house. Maybe go on a little retreat just by yourself to get to know yourself better, I would say.
Hmm. I love that.
Hmm.
Now, for our Leo friends, Leo, what's going to be happening is Jupiter's going to be lighting up your 11th house. That's the house of friends and social activities. So are you a Leo, Celeste? I always
No,
forget. Okay.
I'm a
But
Taurus,
oh, that's right. It's a
but I love the
great
11th house.
Oh, yes, I do too. And the 11th house, Jupiter is going to help you to realize your goals. Your goals might get bigger, your network gets bigger, you have helpful people entering the realm. I think Leos are going to have a great, and look at what I got. They're going to have such a great year. And the Fool says that this year you're going to feel like your load is a lot lighter, Leo. You've been carrying around a lot of heavy stuff in the last few years, but now this year you get to take a deep breath, you get to try new things, you get out of a rut. This year, you might feel like you're finding your faith again, and there's some risks that you can take that are going to really be exciting. So, Leo, you're feeling free and easy and ready for new things.
This is write your own story, and it's the
Ooh.
sky's the limit. It has a very similar meaning to the Fool card. And for the 11th house is a house of good fortune as well as hopes and dreams. So I would say, and Jupiter loves being in the 11th house, it's where it
Hmm.
has its joy. So I would say for Leos, think about how you want to expand, be like be discerning of what, but focus on a few things, and really you could have great success with Jupiter in your 11th house,
Love
writing your own
that.
story.
And
Yes.
Virgos, Jupiter's going to be in your 10th house. What a great year for your career. I mean, and your reputation. This year, you are looking good. Leo, you're looking good. Your rep is good. You're standing tall. And I got to say also, because this is one of those years where you've got Jupiter in the 10th, there might be some new career opportunities that are opening up for you that are really exciting. So, you got the Nine of Wands. What does the Nine of Wands say? The Nine of Wands says you want to protect your reputation this year. I mean, there's a lot of great ways for it to expand, but make sure that you are really taking care of it because your name is the only thing you got at the end of the day. So you want to protect that good name, make sure that you're not doing things that are getting you in any damn trouble. And you also want to stay away from people who are going to drag you down or drag you into their muck. So watch out for that, my Virgos.
Yes, I love that. And I got coming of age upside down for Virgos, and this is your all that in a bag of chips. Keep on being yourself and believing in yourself. So, with a 10th Jupiter in your 10th house, yeah, growth in your career. Now, mindful that Saturn and Pisces, this square. So, be mindful about conserving your energy, especially around August. Like
Hmm.
you might be feeling some tension there. So, keep that in mind to try to lighten your load a little bit around that time. But great to have Jupiter going through your 10th house.
Really good year for your career,
Yes.
Virgo. All right, and Libra, so for Libra, it'll be in the ninth house. And
Mhm.
Jupiter loves being in the ninth house. Jupiter rules the ninth house. Ninth house is all about, developing your learning new things, expanding your mind, expanding your horizons, traveling far, seeing the big picture, going back to school, developing a new philosophy, all of that. And look at that, the Six of Pentacles.
Mhm.
So I think for our Libra friends, there is first of all going to be a lot of gifts coming your way People are going to be very, very generous with you, to you, and you're going to have opportunities also to share your wealth, whether that be your resources, your knowledge, maybe you're sharing your, optimism. And also, this is a card of diplomacy because we see that little scale there. There may be situations coming up. You are the diplomat of the zodiac where you may have to make some decisions for other people. And I think this year you're going to be able to make some really, really great decisions. We need all Libras in government, all hands on deck for diplomacy.
It's so interesting. And I pulled one of a kind for Libra.
Ooh.
And Libra is the sign of partnerships. So, with the South Node being now in Libra, it's a good time to. This also card is also about believing in yourself and not needing to see yourself reflected in the other all the time. Can you make a few adjustments on your philosophy to let go of some people pleasing or holding yourself back? But if you want to educate and expand yourself more with this ninth house, I think this is a year that you can really believe in yourself and invest in yourself.
All right, and Scorpio is going to be in your eighth house, and you know that's your house. So for
Yes.
our yeah, so for our dear Scorpios, eighth house, money. Money, money, money. This is going to be a very good year for your money, your resources, your royalties, your joint resources. Your partner may get a raise, or you may have money coming to you that you're not expecting. There could be a windfall. This would be a great year to also really start thinking about your long-term financial planning. If it's been a long time since you sat down with an advisor or an accountant, you might want to do that. It's also going to be a good year for intimacy, which means Scorpios, you're going to be at your sexy best and you may be getting some action. And look at that Six of Cups. So the Six of Cups, first of all, does show there is the potential to connect with friends, to connect with your children, to connect with your community this year. It's going to be very lovely for you. And also, this card says there may be some, this card is associated with memories. This could be a time where you could find pleasure from the past. And maybe you might be able to look back and make peace with the past. After all, the eighth house is the house of transformation. So if there are some old issues that you want to let go and make peace with, I think Scorpios are going to be able to do that this year.
I I love that. I pulled Return to Innocence
Ooh.
upside down. And I think that really goes nicely with the Six of Cups because it's a card of innocence, the Six of Cups.
Hmm.
So Scorpios, with this eighth house year, have you become too jaded?
Mm.
Have you let past hurts keep you feeling like pushing people away or protective or expecting the worst? The eighth house is the house of deep psychological processes as well. So you may want to be tilling that soil a little bit. And how can you return to some of the innocence and expecting things to go well rather than, thinking they
Hmm.
won't if that's an issue? Because Jupiter wants to bless you.
Right, and cynicism is so it's not a good look on you, Scorpio. Let that stuff go. Let's try to look for the bright side. I just saw the Crook's Nook, speaking of bright side, show up. Hey Claudia, we missed you this morning. So hello, hello. All right, Sag, it's going to be in your seventh house. Jupiter's going to oppose you. So, seventh house has to do with our relationships. So, this would be a year where maybe you're attracting some really interesting people into your life, people that might be teaching you something about yourself. You might learn a lot about your relationships and how you show up in those relationships. You could even be lucky with public relations, PR, legal matters. Those things could be working for you. The only thing I would say, because again, it is an opposition, I want to make sure that you're not overdoing anything. But look at that Two of Cups. I mean, this matches up. So for my Sagittarius, again, this year, Jupiter in your seventh house is going to bring some pretty magnificent, helpful people into your orbit. If you're single, you might meet the one. If you're in a relationship, you might take it to the next level. Sag, it's looking pretty good when it comes to relationships. What did you get? What did
That's
you get,
so
Celeste?
interesting. I got the Your Ancestry card for
Ooh.
for Sagittarius. It's all relative. Mm. So this can be about the connecting the Two of Cups energy with your family and maybe with your elders. Yeah. and giving thanks back to them. This is such an interesting card
Mm,
for.
mm.
Maybe there's a sage out there who wants to write a story, a family story about their family and the relationships between people and whatnot.
Mm,
I think this is such an interesting card to get for this. Yeah,
mm.
yeah. And
Yes.
Natasha, yes, I will. This will be saved. The live will be saved.
Yeah, and I've had some bad luck with technology also. You're lucky that it's with Celeste, not with me. Oh my God. All right, so Capricorn is going to be in your sixth house. First of all, this is good for your health. If you are setting like a health goal, or if you've been maybe under the weather, you might find that the universe is helping you to get back on track. It's a good year to see your doctor, your dentist, to get all those appointments on the calendar that maybe you've been putting off. So I'm going to recommend that for you, Capricorns, to get practical. You love the practical stuff, but also it's a good year for your work. I mean, this year you could find yourself taking on a bigger role, more of a leadership role, or having a new, better job opportunity coming your way. So if you're sick of your job, if you want to say take this job and shove it, I think the universe is going to help you to find the right job so you can do that. And look at that, the
Mm-hmm.
hanged man. So Capricorn, this year your faith is being tested a little bit, and Jupiter is all about faith. And maybe your faith is being tested in your work. Maybe it's being tested, in other ways. But I think that if you keep the faith, the rewards will be rich this year. So please do not lose sight of what's possible. Do not lose sight of, all the good things that want to come your way, and don't assume the worst. Don't go pessimistic on me, okay?
I love that. And I pulled your first time. No
Mm,
inhibitions for Capricorn. So, yeah, I think of the sixth house as the house of daily life, routines, and rituals as well. So, what new routines and rituals will bring some expansion into your life? Um, or don't be inhibited if you want to go for something new in terms of your work. So, that's what I'm getting for this. Yeah.
I love that you said that about don't be inhibited about your work. Maybe this is the year that Capricorn needs to finally go for that career they always wanted to do instead of the one they did do. Mm.
Mm, could be.
All right, so Aquarius is going to be in your fifth house. I think Jupiter likes being there. So, first of all, it's good for pregnancy, it's good for expanding your family, it's good for your creativity, and also it's great for love. If you are a single Aquarian, that fifth house Jupiter could be
Mhm.
bringing you a smorgasbord of new admirers. So, single Aquarians, you could be connecting with some very interesting folks. I would say cast your net wide, cast it super wide, because you might find that you're pulling in something really amazing.
Mhm.
I would also say get creative. Get creative, Aquarius. Got the damn 10 of wands. So what this so what this is telling you, okay, yes, you can get creative, yes, you can meet love, but it's not going to happen by sitting on the couch eating a pint of Ben and Jerry's every night. You got to put the work into it. If you want to manifest new love, you got to make sure you get out there. I mean, Jupiter's on your side, but Jupiter isn't going to do it without you doing your part. So do your work on your creativity, do your work on expanding the family. This could also mean hard labor if you're pregnant. So it could literally be that. And also, again, especially for finding love, do your part, do the work. Do the work,
Mhm.
Aquarius. It will pay off.
That's so interesting. I pulled Finding Your Spirituality upside down, and this is about your soulful food. And it's, are you finding it hard to believe in anything greater than what you see right in front of you? So, this can be about doubting the bigger picture. And Jupiter is here to help you let go of that. And I think of the fifth house as about self expression as well. So, being
Yes.
able to express your creativity, being able to, like, if you're looking for love, can you, a smile and hello can change things, and stop saying, well, it's never worked before, so why would it work now? Aquarius is the sign of, I know things can change and be different, and Jupiter is here to help you believe that.
Well, my Aquarian sun is in a new relationship, so
Ooh,
mm,
and you,
we'll
do
see
you
what
like the
happens.
person?
Haven't met her yet. My children
Ah.
are terrified to introduce me to their partners. So we'll see. All right, so Pisces is going to be in your fourth house. The fourth house is home and family. So it's going to be good for expanding your family. And expanding the family doesn't always mean having children either. It could mean that somebody in the family brings in a new partner, they're getting married. So do know that that is something that it could be. It could also be like we're expanding our house, like maybe we're building on, maybe we're including more people in our house, maybe, someone's moving in. If you want to buy property, this is a good year. It's a good year for renovating. It is also a good year to host events at home, to invite people over, to have social gatherings in your home, all of that stuff. And look at that, we've got the chariot. And so the chariot, is actually associated with Cancer, which does rule the fourth house. So I think this is saying for Pisces, you're going to be in charge at home. Like you're in the driver's seat. You're the one who is ruling the roost. And I think this year you're going to be ruling it for good, and folks are going to be happy with the changes you're making and the rules that you are laying down. I see you protecting that home and really taking good care of it. You also might be taking care of family this year, and they're going to be in good hands with you behind the wheel.
Ah, I love that. And I pulled a life well lived, and
Ooh.
this is whatever you want. So this is like the chariot card for Pisces. That and the fourth house is opposite the 10th house, the career house. So there could be help coming from outside of yourself for your career, as well as like the fourth house is also your most inner self. And I feel like it's about having pride, belief in yourself, and going after what you want with the chariot card. So I like this for Pisces
Mhm.
because Jupiter
All right, Aries.
rules Pisces
Yep,
too.
that's
Mm.
right. So you're totally right. I forgot about that. It is the traditional ruler of Pisces. So I don't know. Pisces could have a good year, right?
Oh yeah, and Emma is relocating to another country, and
Ooh.
so yeah, as a Pisces, so this could be really bountiful for her. Hmm.
So Yogi around the world is so funny. They say, Aries, we're so patient today. We need a reward. Yes, Aries, you're next. So Aries, it's going to be in your third house. And so this is going to be good for short trips. It's going to be good for connecting with your siblings, getting out in your neighborhood, your daily errands. You might be running around a lot more, being a lot busier. Third house also is your mind and your communication. This is Gemini's home. So it is going to be a great year for taking classes, for communicating better, for connecting with people all around you. And so I think for Aries, you're going to find your life is happily busy. And the card and I got the Four Swords reversed. Oh my God. All
Busy.
right. Yeah, Aries, you're not going to be sitting around, okay? You're just not. You are going to be busy, busy, busy. You are going to find so many things to do, so many things you want to do that it's like, why sleep? Why sleep when I can take this class, read that book, go hang out with Celeste? It's that kind of energy. So it is a happy, busy year. And Aries, you are not going to have any time to be bored, my friend. Not at
Yeah.
all.
And I pulled the mother of invention upside down. And this is about sparking ingenuity, thinking creatively. And the third house is the house of the mind. And yeah, thinking creatively and not overthinking. So using your mind for good. One thing we didn't talk about is Gemini can be a little nervous
Mhm.
energy or anxiety. So
Yes.
don't let with Aries, watch out for letting your mind get a little crazy with like overthinking and going and worrying too
Yes.
much is what I would say.
And I would say that that could give you insomnia. You may have trouble sleeping,
Mm.
Aries. So I love that you bring that up. And also, yeah, that Gemini, most Geminis, here's something about Geminis, and we're going to get to you, Taurus, so we're saving the best for last. Most Geminis are very nervous people. A lot of them are very prone to nervous breakdowns or nervous habits. A lot of us are chain smokers, and I used to smoke, and I was a chain smoker. I love smoking cigarettes, and that's the last thing a Gemini should do. But it's that hand thing and the
Yeah.
lung, and so Gemini should not smoke because that's what they tend to do, and it's all nervous habit, nervous habit, nervous habit. So Geminis, you got to watch that. But now let's get to Taurus. And Taurus,
Yes.
it's going to be in your second house. And you know you love that because it's money, honey. So my Taurus says Jupiter's coming. It's going to be ripping through that second house and it's going to say, you know what, you were so good last year. We're going to reward you. So money is coming. And it could be a year where you make a lot more money. You're attracting better jobs, better opportunities, better clients. You might be able to take care of some of your debts. So I think for Taurus, oh my God, Taurus, spare some for some of us. And look at that, the Eight of Wands. So for you, it's number one, it's going to be a good year for travel, but also there's a lot of things that are changing in your life in a good way. So there's momentum gathering. And Taurus, you're going to feel like last year was pretty good. This year's going to be even better. So even though it's Gemini's year, look at you going, Taurus. All those seeds you planted are growing. All the seeds you planted in the last 12 months, they're going to grow in the next year. There's going to be a lot of rewards, a lot of opportunity, a lot of personal growth. I got to say, I think Taurus, you're going to have a bang up year. Mm.
Yeah, I'm in Taurus.
Yes,
Yay.
Celeste.
Now, the second house, Jupiter can make you overconfident a little bit too. And I pulled into temptation upside
Ooh.
down. So watch out. This is the led astray card. Watch out for overspending, thinking, oh, I can afford this. I can afford that. Taurus likes nice things. So just be mindful with your spending because Jupiter, especially when Mars is in Gemini, Mars,
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter, and Gemini could be like burning through your money, Taurus. So watch out for that. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to say, since Celeste is a Taurus, you all should be getting readings with her so that that Jupiter and Taurus money thing rings true for Celeste. Get a reading with Celeste. And by the way, Celeste, I got to tell you, every time somebody I know gets a reading with you, they always come back and they're always glowing. They're like, oh my God, she is just a gem. People love you so hard because you are such a great astrologer, but also you really care and they always walk away feeling like they really got cared for. And I just think that's such a Taurus thing. Love that. Do you want to pull one for the collective?
Oh, yes, I do. Thank you, Teresa. And I'm a Cancer rising, so I do like
That's
people to be
why.
felt held.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, you take care of people.
Aw.
They love you. So you all heard me now. You're going to get a reading from Celeste because we want to help that Jupiter in the second house, okay? You see that, John G? You're going to sign up with Celeste. So for the collective, I
Ooh.
got the world. And I think this year there's some big things happening. Big, big things. We're getting big messages. There's a lot happening around the world. A lot of it's going to be good too. That may be hard to believe right now. It may be very hard to believe, but there are some good things happening. And so let's try to help that along. Let's donate to good causes, get involved in your communities, make sure you vote, think about the kind of world that you want to live in, and let that guide you into making brave, excellent choices for yourself, but also for others around the world.
Mm. And you're not going to believe what I told Teresa.
Uh
Calm before the storm.
oh. Ooh.
So, yeah, we can think about the election is going to be a big storm. We can think about, with Neptune at the 29th degree of Pisces. So, this to me is about how can the world, there's so much going on constantly, and it's easy to get caught up in and I'm guilty myself sometimes, get caught up in all of what could go wrong.
Mhm.
So, how can you find your center with your breath or whatever else tools you need to help to keep yourself somewhat calm? Because there are going to be all kinds of storms, real
Mhm.
storms, imaginary storms, political storms. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But finding that inner calmness and inner peace is so important. Um, no matter where we are, what the situation is going out in the world, as much as we can.
Amen. And I would also say we are living in a world right now that's actually very small. We're all connected. And so we're
Mm-hmm.
all feeling each other's pain and joy, and we're all breathing in the same damn air. I want you to remember that. The air that I'm breathing in and out right now is the same air that Celeste is breathing in and
Mm-hmm.
out right now. We are all connected by our breath. So let's make sure every breath counts and let's get out there and do the right thing. And also, I want to say, The world makes me think of Chef Jose Andres. Donate
Hmm.
to World Central Kitchen. They're doing really great work for people in war-torn countries. Please, please, please donate to good causes like that. Doctors Without Borders also, I would say, donate, donate, donate. Let's get this world turning in the right direction.
I love that. And both of those are amazing organizations.
Hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this has been absolutely wonderful. Do you want to announce anything? Oh, I have let me get it. Do you want to
Well,
tell people about?
yes, the Living Astrology Kit. So there's still time to get your kit. My Living Astrology Chart is an astrology kit. It's got charms in it also. It's going to be a great way for you to learn astrology, practice divination. It's got a lot of cool uses, and there's going to be a bunch of classes that go with it. Carrie Paris and I created this kit, so we're teaching classes. Celeste is teaching a class, and so is Brianna Saucy. So there's going to be some amazing classes that come with it. And I do hope that you all grab those kits before they're gone.
Yes, I'm so excited. I love this kit so much. It's incredible. And I can't wait to create my mood class with it.
It's so cool. It's
It
really good for
is.
teaching. Really good for teaching.
It really, really is. So, yes. So, and you probably have a link in your bio to get right
I
to it, right?
do. Yep, if you go to my bio, you'll see there is a link in the bio for my Living Astrology Chart. Click on that. You can buy it right through there.
Oh, Patty already has her kit. Yes, I love
Yay, Patty! We're going to
it.
have fun. We're going to have
Yeah.
a lot of fun.
Well, this was wonderful as always, Theresa. Thank you so much for sharing your wisdom. And yeah, I think I'm really even more excited about Jupiter and Gemini. So yeah, this has been absolutely wonderful. So you take good care.
You
Enjoy
too?
enjoy the weekend, and yeah, happy Venus Day.
Yes. Thank you, Celeste, for having me. It was a blast. We got to do this again
Oh,
soon.
absolutely. Anytime.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Mwah.